Are you a comic book writer interested in getting published? If so, then you may be wondering, where would be a good place to start? One answer is comic book anthologies. In this video, I'm going to tell you what anthologies are, why they can be beneficial to your comics career, and where to find them. Please be aware that the majority of this information comes from 2 interviews I recently did. The first was with John Ward, and the second was with Russell Nohelty. John is a comic book writer who started out writing for anthologies and worked his way up to getting published by Antarctic Press. And Russell is a USA Today best-selling writer who has, thus far, curated 3 comics anthologies. If you're interested in checking out their work, then you're in luck because they both have Kickstarter campaigns going on right now. John's comic is called Acausal, and Russell's comic is called Ichabod Jones. You can find the links to both in the description below. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Angelo. I'm an indie comic book writer, and I have a confession to make. Storytelling used to be a huge struggle for me before I learned the basics. That's why I teach how to write comics here on YouTube. Without further ado, let's get into the lesson. So what is an anthology? An anthology is a collection of short stories. Usually, these short stories are connected by a theme. However, some anthologies may not have any theme at all. For example, a horror anthology would be made up of horror stories. And by short, I mean that the length of the individual comic stories is usually less than a typical 22-page comic. Some may even be as short as 1 or 2 pages. It really depends on the submission guidelines. If you'd like to see examples of anthologies, then I recommend you visit Kickstarter, because they have a whole subcategory of comics dedicated to anthologies. So what are the benefits of anthologies? While there are many benefits, including getting your work seen by new readers and expanding your comics creator network, in my humble opinion, the biggest benefit of anthologies is that they help you to become a better writer, because short stories are challenging to write. Short story writing forces you to quickly learn how to get to the point, as opposed to writing a longer story that goes nowhere for the first few chapters. In fact, I teach short story comic book writing here on my YouTube channel, and I do it through the lens of fan fiction, starring popular characters that you've probably heard of. If you'd like to learn more, then check out some of the other videos here on my channel. So, where can you find comics anthologies to submit to? Here are 3 resources. The first resource is on social media, where you can find announcements of upcoming anthologies. In the description below, I've specifically listed a Twitter account and a Facebook group dedicated to comic book anthologies. However, if you want to find even more anthology-related groups online, then use the search term Open Call. The second resource is small comic book publishers who are known for anthologies. I've listed some of them in the description below as well. The third resource is local comics groups, or comics collectives in your geographic area who publish anthologies. If you want to find these, then try asking around at your local comic book shop. Now, that was 3 resources to find anthologies. But here's a bonus. You could start your own anthology. In other words, you could be the editor who solicits other writers and artists to submit stories to you. In fact, if you want to be a professional comic book editor, then curating an anthology could help launch your career. For example, without naming names, one person put together an anthology, crowdfunded it on Kickstarter, and later became an editor at a top comic book publishing company. But fair warning, curating an anthology does require a significant investment of time and energy. To quote Russell Nohelty, who has so far curated 3 anthologies, everyone wants to be part of an anthology, but nobody wants to curate them. Russell compares it to managing cats, because it involves contracts, bureaucracy, and paying people. However, he says there are many benefits to curating anthologies, such as producing a signature product, expanding your comics creator network, and making a name for yourself. If you want to learn the ins and outs of curating an anthology, then check out Russell's online course entitled How to Set Up and Run an Awesome Kickstarter Anthology. The link is in the description below. And there you have it. You now know what anthologies are, why they could be beneficial to your comics career, and where to find them. Thank you again to both John Ward and Russell Nohelty for taking the time to share their knowledge. If you viewers would like to learn more about John and Russell and their Kickstarter campaigns, then check out the links in the description below. If you found this video helpful and you'd like me to keep making more, then please convey that to both me and the YouTube algorithm by hitting like, subscribe, and the bell icon for notifications. If you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions for future videos, then please let me know in the comments section down below. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.